What's going on, MJ traders and investors? It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Also home to the best MJ community on the planet. Today is Monday, January 22nd. Hope you had a great weekend and I hope you're doing well. We've got an exciting update for you in this one. We have DeSantis saying that MJ legalization will be on Florida's ballot here coming into the elections in November. So this is massive. I've been on record and I've said multiple times that in my opinion, I think there was a, maybe 80 to 90% chance that it ends up on the ballot, and then a 70 to 80% chance that it actually gets passed and enacted into law into 2025. And it looks like that is the case and it's right on schedule. Before we get to all of that and more though, make sure to smash the like. It helps support me in the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, all the good stuff, and you'll be notified on any future videos or whenever I do live streams. Also, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment and informational purposes only. You should never, ever, ever buy anything based on anything that I say or anything that I write, or sell anything for that matter. But you can also give us a follow over on X, which is formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. And I actually shared this article here on X just a few minutes ago before I went live. But here is the article from MJ Moment. This is absolutely massive news. DeSantis says MJ legalization will be on Florida ballot following court review. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says MJ legalization initiative will be on the state's November ballot, predicting a favorable legal outcome for activists in the Supreme Court in the face of a challenge from the Attorney General who is seeking to block the vote. Days before dropping out of the race for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination, DeSantis was asked about the prospect of legalization making the Florida ballot by MJ lobbyist Don Murphy, and he actually dropped out of the race and he endorses Trump. Wouldn't it be epic if we saw Biden and Trump go again? I really don't care. I'm Canadian. I don't really care who wins as long as they're pro MJ, and I don't think Trump would really be pro MJ. But there's also talks that potentially Nikki Haley and then Michelle Obama could run, which would be epic in my opinion. It would be insane to see Trump and Biden go again. I really don't think that's going to happen, but I think, let me know in the comments below what you think is going to happen. Again, I don't really care one way or the other on either side of the aisle, but as of right now, it's Trump versus Biden. A lot of people are speculating that Biden's going to drop out and potentially see Michelle Obama run, but I think that would be an epic election for the ages if we saw Nikki Haley and Michelle Obama. That would be awesome in my opinion. And see if we have, if we have two women that are running and then one of those two women, I think that would be epic. But and I think it would be great for the United States. So let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Again, it's not to get political, but I think I mentioned that if Trump were to run and then if Biden were to run, and that is the final two, then we could potentially see Trump endorse crypto and then Biden endorse MJ as a way to sway voters, right? And as a way to get the upper hand, because as we know, Biden could basically say that, his administration, the Democrats could say that their administration passed the biggest law for MJ, and that was rescheduling, right? Which we know could happen over the next couple of months. So we could see Germany have a vote next month. In February, we could see German legalization get approved. We could see Florida officially on the ballot, which is looking like that's going to be the case. And then we could get DEA rescheduling decision to Schedule 3, possibly sometime in March or April, in my opinion. So this is looking really, really good and giddy up here because, like I said, it's pretty much an inevitability, and it looks imminent that we're going to see a massive, massive explosion in this amazing industry and medicine of the future. I think the court is going to approve that. The governor said at his final campaign event in New Hampshire on Friday, so it'll be on the ballot. It's not clear if DeSantis has received some indication from the court about the status of the case, which is still weighing the legal challenge from Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody, or if he is just making a prediction based on the issues at play. Moody has asked the court to invalidate the measure despite activists collecting nearly 1 million signatures for ballot placement. The state official previously successfully petitioned justices to prevent a 2022 legalization initiative from receiving voter consideration. And this is just absolutely insane in my opinion. If 80 to 90% of the population and the people want it, like, what, you work for the people. I don't get this. Like, just let it happen. They're just trying to stall and prevent this industry from gaining mass adoption and critical mass. That's all they're trying to do, right? Because they're trying to protect their, the lobbyist. They get all this lobbying money from big pharma, big alcohol, big tobacco. And they're just trying to stall it as long as possible so that these big pharmas, these big alcohol and tobacco companies can figure out how to get their paws all over it, right? But they can only kick the can down the road for so long, and that's looking like it's more and more the case each and every day, right? I think there's still, I would say now it's a 90+% guarantee. You know, there's no 100% guarantees out there, but I would say it's over 90% probability that this is going to be on the ballot for 2024. That won't be the case if this round, according to the governor, while he opposes the reform and pledged not to federally decriminalize MJ if elected president, which we know is no longer the case, so that is good for MJ as well. When he was running, he says voters will get a chance to decide on this issue this time. Oh, so you're telling me the people get to decide for once. Great. That's awesome, because isn't that what democracy is all about? Awesome. Glad to see that you're finally these people are starting to realize that they work for the people, not the other way around. The state Supreme Court heard oral arguments in the case against the Smart and Safe Florida campaign last November, but has not issued a ruling yet. It will need to do so by April 1st. DeSantis also weighed in on another relevant MJ policy issue last week when he separately told Murphy that he doesn't believe the federal gun ban for state legal MJ consumers is constitutional. Florida former Agriculture Commission Nikki Fried brought a lawsuit against the Biden administration over the rule, though the governor did not get involved. So let's just go through here. Prior to dropping out, DeSantis also said earlier this month that if elected president, he would respect the decisions that states make on MJ legalization, despite his personal view that the reform has a negative impact, which I don't understand. How could you think that, like, there's been studies, there's been surveys, results posted that, like underage consumption has gone down since legalization in states that have legalized and in countries like Canada that have legalized, because it's harder and harder to get, right? If you curb the illicit market, if you make it so that people have to go to a dispensary or show their ID, right, that's going to cut down on the illicit market, right? If the illicit market is thriving based on, they don't ask for ID, right? If they're unable to make any profit, right? If we got these LPs and if we got MSOs, if we got all of these legal producers that are able to, cut the prices to astronomical low levels, right? If the prices are so low, it's just going to drive out the illicit market. And then people will have to buy it from legal stores, and they'll have to show their ID, just like tobacco and alcohol, right? So I don't get it. We've already been legal here in Canada for over 5 years, and people aren't dying. I seen someone post the other day, every day someone dies from heroin, someone dies from cocaine, someone dies from this and alcohol and tobacco, and then meanwhile lives were saved from marijuana, right? So it's medicine of the future. It's almost just, I don't understand how people can even say that it shouldn't be legal. It's just absolutely, it's just stupidity in my opinion. But maybe he's just doing the work for the incumbents, right? Like the big pharma and all that good stuff. So yeah, it's frustrating. And, we're in, 2024 and people still don't realize that this is medicine of the future and has so many benefits, right? With respect to legalization ballot measure, the Florida Chamber of Commerce released a poll this month showing that reform proposal enjoys majority support from likely voters, but not quite enough to meet the state's steep 60% threshold for passage. I think it will. I think it'll come in around 70%, or slightly higher than that. That said, other previous polls have found that voters are well positioned to pass the legalization initiative with more than enough support. For example, the University of North Florida put out a survey last month showed 67% of voters backed the proposal. And I've been saying around 70%, which I thought, and that's pretty much in line. The multi-state MJ company TrueLeaf had contributed more than $40 million to the Smart and Safe Florida campaign to date. The state attorney general had accused the company of supporting the measure in order to have a monopolistic stranglehold. And again, I don't understand that either. It's like, that's where a majority of their business is, right? They dominate the medical market. Why wouldn't they support this? Like, yes, okay, there would be a little bit of a monopoly there, but, Curaleaf's in Florida. We have AYR. So, but, 80% of their businesses in Florida, of course they want to see this pass. Like, it's just, again, the amount of stupidity that goes on around this. This is why I hate politics. This is why I try to distance myself from it as much as possible. If approved, the measure would change the state constitution to allow existing medical MJ companies in the state like TrueLeaf to begin selling MJ to adults over 21. It contains a provision that would allow but not require lawmakers to take steps toward the approval of additional businesses. Home cultivation by consumers would not be allowed under the proposal. Oh, okay. So you're telling me that you're worried about monopolistic strangleholds from TrueLeaf on the legal market, but you won't let consumers grow it at home. So they have to buy it from legal places. isn't that a legal monopoly? Why can't we grow it at home, right? It just doesn't make any sense. Again, they're just contradicting themselves. Adults 21 and older would be able to purchase and possess up to an ounce of cannabis, and only 5 grams of which could be marijuana concentrate products. The 3-page measure also omits equity provisions favored by advocates such as expungements or other relief for people with prior cannabis convictions. And this gets pretty lengthy here, so I'm not going to go over it, but it talks about 280E, and that's pretty much all I want to mention in this video. This is huge. So they kind of just reiterate a lot of the stuff that they've already said in past articles, but this is definitely a positive outcome here and reassurance that this is more than likely going to be the case. We're going to see it on the ballot. I'm very, very confident of that, as close to 100% as possible. And then, like I said, I think there's a 70-80% chance that it actually gets passed and voters approve it, and then actually gets enacted into law in 2025. But curious to see the excitement from everybody in the community. Let me know in the comments below, do you think that this is going to end up on the ballot? And then do you agree with me? Do you think that we're going to see a 70 to 80% probability that it actually passes and gets enacted into law at some point in 2025 after the elections? All right, going to end it there. It's Rod with Pow Group. Thanks again for joining us in the Pursuit of Wealth, and we'll see you again on the next video.